Welcome to Walking with Jesus, a devotional journey through books of the Bible, brought to you by Forest Hill Presbyterian Church. I'm Pastor Jason Van Bemmel. We're continuing our journey through the book of Hebrews, day 51 today. In Hebrews chapter 13, looking at verses 4 through 6 and asking a very important question: how can we be content? How can we be content? Hear now God's word. Hebrews 13, verses 4 to 6. Let marriage be held in honor among all, and let the marriage bed be undefiled, for God will judge the sexually immoral and adulterous. Keep your life free from the love of money, and be content with what you have. For he has said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. So we can confidently say, the Lord is my helper. I will not fear. What can man do to me? Again, that's Hebrews 13, 4 to 6 in the English Standard Version. Well, two areas of constant struggle for most adults are marriage and money. Getting married, going through a divorce, and having financial troubles are three of the top 5 causes of stress, major stress, in people's lives. The other two are the death of a loved one and the loss of a job. So why are marriage and money so stressful? Well, I think it's because these are two places where our real theology is put to the test on a daily basis. Everyone has a real theology, a theology they possess, which is not always the same as the theology they profess. We can profess to believe in God and yet live as if he has nothing whatsoever to do with our everyday lives. There is a gap between the theology we profess and the theology we possess, and it's regularly exposed in how we handle money and how we relate to our spouses. Hebrews 13 gives us two very simple commands regarding marriage and money. First, let marriage be held in honor by all, and the marriage bed be undefiled. And then second, keep yourself free from the love of money. Another way to express these two truths is that we need to treasure our marriage relationships as precious and not our money. And so why do we so often get these things mixed up? Why are we constantly tempted to not treasure or protect our marriage relationships as precious, and at the same time we covet and guard our money as highly precious? Well, I think the root problem in both cases, both our undervaluing of marriage and our overvaluing of money, is a lack of contentment. We are not content with the spouse God has given us, and so we are tempted to sexual immorality and lust. We are not content with the financial resources God has given us, and so we hoard what we have and we covet what we don't have. For us to be satisfied with our spouses and not overvalue our money, we need more contentment. But how can we be more content? Should we just count our blessings, name them one by one, as the old song says? Or is there something better, a better way toward contentment? Well, Hebrews 13 points us to the Lord's constant presence and help as the key for real contentment. If we understand and trust that the Lord will never leave us nor forsake us, and if we can say with confidence, the Lord is my helper, this can free us from fear and make us more content. This connection between contentment and the abiding, helping presence of God contains a key insight for us. A lack of contentment is really a form of fear. Why do we lack contentment? Because we're afraid that we're being neglected, left behind, or left out. We're afraid we're not going to be satisfied. We're going to be left lacking. We're going to be suffering want. And so we're constantly looking around us for what we might get for ourselves. But if we know that God is always with us as our helper, it frees us from paralyzing anxiety and this restless discontent. It gives us security and peace, knowing that God has given us our spouse and our finances as part of his constant, abiding, loving kindness to us. This frees us to receive these gifts for what they are and not try to make them our security or our identity, but to find our security and our identity in God alone. God never leaves us. He never forsakes us. He is indeed our helper. We do not need to be afraid. Let those truths sink deep into your heart and let them lead you to find peace and contentment in Him alone.